Hey everybody, and welcome back to another lesson with Mr. C. Today we are going to be working on technology. Specifically, we're going to work on some Google Docs and some basic formatting features. Now, this lesson's geared towards my second graders. However, anybody is welcome to join in. It's going to be kind of difficult, only because I shared out a Google document with my second graders. But when you join me over on my Chromebook, you will see my Google Docs, and you can probably easily pause this video, type in the words, and then do what I'm doing. You guys ready? Cool. Join me over at my Chromebook, and I'm going to be there shortly. All right. What is up, second grade? Second grade, good to see you here. We're going to go ahead and we are going to do our technology class. This is Google Docs, your basic formatting features. Now, I shared this document out with you about 30 minutes ago. So you're going to have to log into your Google account and then open up your Google Docs, or you can open up Google Drive. Now, let's go ahead. Once you have your Google Docs up, go ahead and look for Google Docs basic formatting features. Okay, now, I shared this with you as read-only, so we are going to have to make a copy of this. So let's go ahead and make a copy right now. If you already know how to do this, fantastic. Go ahead and start without me. If you're a little fuzzy on how to do that, let's go ahead and work together. So I'm going to take my cursor over, and I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to go down to Make a Copy. Let's go ahead and click Make a Copy. Now, here we have our whole name selected. We have that blue selection box. Now you can go ahead and just click backspace or delete if you want and rename it. I'm going to keep it just so I know where my files are. I like to name them a certain way, and I'm going to recommend you do this too. So I'm just going to take this and select Copy Of. I'm going to click backspace, and then I'm going to type my name, Mr. C. Now you can type in your name, whatever your name is, whether that is Jimmy or Billy, whatever it is. So I'm going to type in Mr. C, and then I'm going to click OK. And that will pop up another screen here. And this is now, you can now edit this, which is really great. So we're going to go over, this is kind of a review, and it's going to introduce a couple new things as well of basic formatting features. We've already gone over font size, underline, bold, but something else we haven't gone over are centering and line spacing. And that's going to be really important when you start writing documents in second and third and fourth and fifth, and on and on and on. All right, so let's read our directions first. It says we're going to type the following words, pressing the enter key once after each line of text. Now, guess what? Because I shared this out with you, you don't have to type these words. But we need to put them in a nice list. So you see I have them kind of clustered together in a paragraph. We're going to make each line, each word, and each line of text on its own separate line. So how are we going to do that? Well, first I'm going to take my cursor. Everyone see my cursor here? And I'm going to click in front of font. And all I'm going to do is press enter. Now I've got a little space there. I want this to be nice and lined up. Boom, font is on the other end. Let's go on the other way. Font, enter. Boom, look at that. Let's do that again. Font, enter. Look at that. Now we're going to go over to size. So you want that cursor to be blinking right next to that first letter, the S or whatever the letter is. We're going to do that, and we're going to click enter, or press enter. Same thing, put your cursor right next to the F, click it, and look, and now we're going to click enter. Now, if you don't want to use your trackpad or if you have a mouse, you can also just click the directional arrow buttons on your keyboard. So it's right under the shift button on the right side of your keyboard. And you can just move your cursor back and forth like that. That's another way to do it. And I'm going to move over to size. I'm going to do that a couple times to show you. So I'm not even using my mouse. I'm just moving the cursor over with my right arrow button. Keep doing that, right? So we want all of these letters and all these words, we want all these words on separate lines. So now font, look at that, it's already there. We're going to go down to color. Do it again. And now I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to use my cursor again. Click font, enter. Now you want to make sure you don't select the whole thing and accidentally do this. Oh, I selected it. I'm not paying attention. I click enter. Color went away. Now remember, if that happens, it's not lost forever. Remember, what's your lifeline here? What's going to save your life on Google Docs? That's right, the undo button. We're going to go ahead and move our cursor up here to the undo button. I'm going to click it and boom, we brought it back from nothing. Pretty cool. So I'm going to make sure I don't select it again. Color, good. Go over to bold. Now I'm switching to the cursor. I'm going to go back to the cursor, switching over to my directional arrow buttons. Go to text, go to my left. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. And I'm just going to keep doing this. You guys are probably way ahead of me. And I'm just going to keep doing this. Now, the only thing where it says text right, line spacing. Ooh, I need to make sure you need to make sure it looks like this. Text left, text center, text right, line spacing, and line spacing. So the only ones that are going to have two words are going to be text left, text center, text right, line spacing, line spacing, line spacing. Excellent. So when it looks like this, go ahead and take a minute and we're going to read the bottom instructions right here. Now it says, use your mouse to select the words and apply the matching formatting to each line of text. So let's do that first and before we read this one right here. So we're going to scroll up and we're going to go to font. Okay. Now we need to change the font to, well, whatever you want to do. But I want you to get used to changing the font on everywhere where it says font. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that now. And I'm going to go ahead. Remember, if you just click it and not select it, let's change it to something really funny, right? Like great vibes. Oh, it didn't change it. Well, remember, we have to select it. You need to have that blue selection rectangle covering your word. Now we can go ahead and change our font. So I'm just going to, I'll go into, I've got, let's see, great vibes. And you can change it to whatever you want. I have some fonts you guys probably don't have, but I just want you to go through, double click font, go down and just change it to whatever you want. We're only changing the font here. Remember, my font is right up here, right? And you can see if you just hover your cursor over it, it'll say font. And that lets you know that is what's going to change the style of the word. So go ahead and everywhere where it says font, we're going to go ahead and change it. I'm going to change that to righteous. I'm going to change this to Courier New. I'm going to skip size for now because I just want to do all the fonts first, right? Let's go to this font. Let's change it to something Bolby 1. Yeah, that looks fun. And then we're going to change this. So you go ahead and do this. Change it to whatever font you want. I'm going to change it to Sriracha. I like that. Font. And let's go into Georgia. We have a couple more to do. And let's go down to permanent marker. So really, your word should start taking shape kind of like this. And now all my fonts are done, right? So once you've done all the fonts, your word should look something like this, right? It should have, all the fonts, and they should all be in different fonts. All right, now we get to go down to size. So let's go ahead and find the word size. There it is right there. And we're going to go ahead and select it. Cool. Now remember, font is here. Over here is the font size. Now, when you use Google Docs, it says font size. Some other programs may say pitch, P-I-T-C-H, and that just means font size. So we're going to go ahead and change this to whatever you want. Now, I know some of you are going to put it at like size 90. That's fine. But again, try different ones, right? Because you have 1, 2, 3. You have 3 different sizes. So I would do something, I'm going to do small. So let's go down here to size 8. That's pretty cool. And that's actually, I don't really like that. I'm going to make it smaller. Now remember, Google gives you some general font sizes that are most common that you're going to most commonly use. If you don't see a number on there that you want, remember, you can go up to the selection box and type it in. I'm going to type in 6, and then you click or press enter and see how small it makes it. So that's a really cool way to add a font size in that's maybe not on Google, or maybe it's not exactly what you need. So I'm going to go over here to size again, and now I'm going to do medium. Medium to me would be 30. And then we're going to go down here to size, and now it's going to be large. So I have small, medium, large. That's pretty cool, right? See how big that, I mean, that's a big font right there. All right. Now we have font, size, font. Now we're down to color. Now remember, we're going to open up our color palette. So go ahead and select the color box. Make sure that color is selected in that blue rectangle. And then we're going to put our cursor over here to that little A with the underline. Right now, again, my cursor is really big for you to see, but it says text color, right? The A. Now, if you go over here, that's highlighter. That's something different. Right now, I just want us to focus on the text color. So we're going to change our text color. We have 3 different colors. So let's go ahead and change it to, I don't know, whatever color you want. I'm going to do my favorite color, which is blue. And there you go, it changes it. I'm going to change my next one to my next favorite color, which is red. And then finally, I'm going to change it to, let's go with green. But that light green is going to be really hard to see. So let's go ahead and do like a darker green. That's still hard to see. So then I'm going to come back up. And there we go. I have my 3 colors, blue, red, and green. Excellent. So now let's go down to bold. All right. Let's go to bold here, and we're going to select it. Now go to move your cursor over. You'll see the big B right there. That is bold. So with that selected, go ahead and click B for bold. Cool. Look at that. Not too bad. Now go ahead to underline. Double click that, select it. Now again, I like to double click. You can always click and drag. Remember in class, I don't really like to do that because sometimes my finger slips and that happens. So really for me, it's safer just to double click. Then I'm going to go over to the underline button. Go ahead and click underline, and look at that. We've now underlined our underline word. All right, these ones we have not covered, text left and line spacing. And this is something extremely important when it comes to writing documents, writing reports, book reports, whatever you want to create on Google Docs. Okay, text left, that just means the text is going to be on the left side of the page. It's going to be positioned there. Text center means we're going to move our text to the center of the page. Text right means we're going to go to the right side of the page. And there's lots of reasons why we'd want to do this. Right now, we're just going to go over how to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to select text left. Okay, but where's text left? Well, look at these lines over here, right? You have these, looks like little paragraphs. Well, these are different text positions, right? So right there, we call that the alignment button. So that's left align. So it's not going to say text to left. It's going to say left align. That just means put everything on the left. So fortunately for us, you see how it's highlighted blue? Cool thing for us, it's already text left. We can click it again. It's not going to do anything. So it's already text left. Cool. Let's go to text center. Text center, go back up here. So that's left. Next to it is center align. Watch what happens when we click that. It moves it to the center of the page. Now, this is really helpful when you're doing titles of reports, titles of book reports, titles of your essay, or if you just need to move everything, or if you're doing some sort of poetry, like a haiku or something, text center is very useful. Now we're going to go over to text right. We're going to go ahead and double click that. Move our cursor over to right there. And now let's go ahead and click right align. Boom! Moves it all the way to the right. That's pretty cool. Now, when would you ever need to use this? A lot of times when you are writing your name and your date and your class at the top of the page, right? So like when we are doing spelling tests or worksheets, your name is at the top right. So this is a great way to write your name. And instead of doing this, I'm going to go ahead and mess with this a little bit, right? Instead of doing this, I need to write my name. So I'm going to write Mr. Carey. Now, instead of going over here and going space, 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 or if you already know about this, instead of doing tab, 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 right? That's going to be really annoying. And we don't want to do that, right? We just want an easy way to get it over to the right side. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go right align. Boom, my name's over there. I don't have to space anything. It's right there, ready to go. I'm going to change that again back to text right. Cool. Now, line spacing. Let's go back down to our directions. For line spacing, select all of the words that say line spacing text. So this is where we're going to click, and we're going to select everything that says line spacing. So let me show you where the line spacing is. This is another useful tool when you start writing essays, reports, book reports, whatever. So we're going to go ahead and go over here, take our cursor, and look for the 3 lines with a double-sided arrow. That is your line spacing. That is what tells the lines how close or how far to be apart or together. Now, generally, you start off at, I have it at 1.5. Okay, usually the default is 1.15. Now look at the difference there. Look here at line spacing, 1.15. I go to 1.5, it spaces it out. Go to double, boom. Let's go to single. See how smushed together it is? Now, I personally like 1.5 spaces. That's just me. It's easier for me to see my words. It's easier for me to spell check it. That is what works for me. But you can go ahead and experiment with this. Try single, 1.15, 1.5, double. And if double is not enough for you, like Mr. C, there's got to be something more than double. Well, you're right, there is. Let's go ahead and click line spacing. And then let's go to custom spacing. Okay, and this is a little advanced, but for those of you that want to push yourselves, we're going to click custom spacing. So now this is where you can add in whatever number you want. Now, before you start adding in a really big number, start off small, right? Double. This is going to be triple spaced. Watch what happens to my line spacing. Boom, it spaces it out even more. And then we can go back to custom. Go back to double, and let's go to custom spacing, and let's go to 5. Well, why not? And boom, you see how spaced out that is? Pretty cool. You can go ahead and experiment with that. I'm going to go back to 1.15, but I want you to take a little bit of time and just get comfortable with that text spacing, okay? Remember, the default for Google Docs is going to be 1.15, okay? Now, let me show you a little trick. If, let's say, this whole thing right here is 1.5 and I want to make it double spaced or single spaced, how could I select the entire document? So you can always go to edit. Do that one more time. Go over to edit, click, and then we're going to click select all. Now what's cool is everything is selected. And we're going to do a little experiment here. Let's go ahead and click our line spacing. And let's go ahead and go down to single lines. Boom. See how smashed together everything is? And let's go ahead and go to double space. Now it's really spread out. That's pretty cool. Right? And I'm just going to put it back to 1.5. All right, folks, that is our class on basic formatting features with Google Docs. If you liked this class, go ahead and give me a like down below and comment. Hey, that was great. Hey, Mr. C, can you show me how to do whatever? Next lesson is going to be about spell checking. I touched on this a little bit, but I want to really go through spell check with you guys. One, because spell check is free, okay? Don't be afraid to use spell check. There's no excuse for turning in a Google Docs project with spelling errors because Google Docs tells you there's a spelling error. All right, if you didn't like this video, before you click that unlike button, just give me a comment. Say, hey, I didn't like it because of this, or hey, you messed that up and that's not right. Give me a chance to fix it before you start clicking unlike, okay? This is Mr. Carey signing off. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay sharp, keep your head up, right? Keep your chin up. We'll get through this and you're gonna have a lot more lessons coming your way from Mr. C. See you guys.